As the 20th anniversary celebration continues, Hong Kong Disneyland has also begun celebrating Halloween beginning on Friday last week. Because of the clash with 20th anniversary, this year's Halloween seems to have some major cutbacks. The House of the Villains at the Pavilion and Mickey's Halloween Time Street Party did not return. While the heroes versus villains moments are still listed, I cannot find any information of these villains meeting around Halloween Time Festival Gardens, indicating that their official meet and greets may have also been removed. Despite all of that, they did, however, manage to give us an all-new entertainment offering during Halloween. That is, a new parade or cavalcade or show called Uninvited, a villain's takeover party. The backstory for the show is pretty interesting, as it seems that the villains were not invited to the 20th anniversary celebration and decided to hold one on their own. Here's the official description. Never once to ask for permission, Disney villains have decided to invite themselves to the party. Darkly fierce and majestic, Maleficent leads a wicked alliance of 11 notorious Disney villains and their henchmen to storm Main Street, USA at the Uninvited, a villain's takeover party. Determined to make the party their own, they call upon all wicked revelers to make this a party of epically evil proportions. Disney Halloween Time started on Friday, the 19th of September. However, it is worth noting that this new offering did not show up until the 4th day of the event, as it was unable to perform due to inclement weather continuously impacting operations at Hong Kong Disneyland. Now that the show has debuted, I can finally make a review on my thoughts regarding this new entertainment offering, and I'm happy to say I really like this new Villains Parade, or whatever it is called. As a fan of Disney classics, I really like Disney villains. They are the antagonists in famous Disney movies and serve a big role in them. In certain movies like Sleeping Beauty and Hercules, the villain is arguably more popular and famous than the heroes, and helps carry the story with their cooler appearances and unique personalities. Halloween at Hong Kong Disneyland used to be very scary, but also featured Disney villains like Maleficent. In recent years, although the Halloween events have become smaller and less frightening, I still welcome Hong Kong Disneyland to focus more on villains, as they are something that pays tribute to Disney classics. And this new parade, or whatever type of entertainment, is no exception. The premise of the show is that Maleficent is not invited to the 20th anniversary celebration at Hong Kong Disneyland. Back in Walt Disney Animation Studios' animated feature in 1959, Sleeping Beauty, Maleficent is not invited to the christening of Princess Aurora. The story of this show not only directly references the classic Disney movie, but also shows a clever way to expand the anniversary event with rich storytelling. During the beginning, we hear park guests witness the arrival of the mistress of all evil herself. Longtime Hong Kong Disneyland fans would notice that she is riding the float from the We Love Mickey Main Street projection show. This show was originally the placeholder for Hong Kong Disneyland's nightly fireworks when it was on hiatus due to the castle transformation. It's great to see them repurposing an old float into a new show, just like how they updated the tree lighting ceremony by also featuring the same float last year. The We Love Mickey float is now repainted to dark green and covered with thorns similar to the scene when Prince Philip fought her. Maleficent continues her speech, claiming that the most magical party of all would not be magical without her and the uninvited.
I find being excluded from the guest list distressing. I'm sure It was merely an oversight. How can there be a magical party without me, the mistress of all evil?
As she continues, thorns start growing on the top of Main Street, USA, the very first time where props are located on the top of Main Street in Hong Kong Disneyland. Maleficent summons a staggering 11 villains to hold a big Halloween party of their own, including Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, the evil queen from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs,
Who's the fairest one of all?
Jafar from Aladdin, Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland, Lady Tremaine, Drusilla, and Anastasia from Cinderella,
Of my way.
Captain Hook and Mr. Smee from Peter Pan, Oogie Boogie from The Nightmare Before Christmas, and Hades from Hercules. This lineup of villains is really robust. It contains different characters from classic Disney movies, ranging from common villains to rare villains, making the celebration truly special. For new characters, Gaston, for the first time, appears outside of Let's Get Wicked. His appearance in Uninvited is based on his parade and meet and greet appearance found in the other Disney parks. Apart from him, Mr. Smee, Captain Hook's loyal assistant, also made his debut at Hong Kong Disneyland, only appearing in this show. I always hope to get more new characters instead of repeatedly getting special outfits for existing characters, and this show clearly shows that they answered our call. Meanwhile, popular villains, most notably the Tremaines, also take part in the celebration. Cinderella's evil stepmother and stepsisters have become extremely popular since their debut in 2022, so it would only make sense for Hong Kong Disneyland to make them appear more often. In the previous year, they were seen greeting guests before the start of Mickey's Halloween Time street party. I see their appearance here as a major upgrade when they get to take part in a bigger show. Hades, personally my favorite Disney villain, also takes part in the celebration, despite not having his own table. I love how Hong Kong Disneyland continues to increase the appearance of the Lord of the Dead. His personality in his movie Hercules is funny and unique, making him a major highlight of the film. Hades' theme park appearance belongs in the group of big characters similar to Sully and Wreck-It Ralph. He is also one of the tallest Disney characters, to the point I cannot tell how he could see and walk properly, which is really impressive. Hades, as well as other characters from Hercules, are currently still rare characters in all the Disney parks, so I am surprised and delighted that Hong Kong Disneyland is the one to make him and even Megara appear more often. This is not only great for me, but also great for the park. Last year, I encountered a number of Japanese visitors who came from Tokyo Disney to Hong Kong Disneyland just to capture Hades and Meg. This shows that rare characters are essential for them to attract more guests, and that they should continue doing it more. As the party commences, tables are set for Captain Hook, Queen of Hearts, Evil Queen, Gaston, Jafar, and the Tremaines. I find this very interesting because no entertainment offerings along the parade routes have ever done that before. If you count these tables as parade floats, then this parade, or cavalcade, actually features 7 floats. Judging by the scale of the parade, the number of floats is actually high, really not what I expected. I really appreciate how they managed to introduce a sizable parade or cavalcade shortly after Fantastic debuted. It really adds to the overall experience at Hong Kong Disneyland, making Halloween the best seasonal event of the year. The tables are also something innovative in terms of all the entertainment offerings they have made. Hopefully, this will be special enough to attract more guests to visit the park during this time of year. Although not every villain has a table, each of them still features their own group of dancers, dressed up according to their respective villain leader. I really like how each group is different from each other. Hades has Lost Souls, Captain Hook has Pirates, and Queen of Hearts has Card Soldiers, etc. I wonder if these are the same dancers from Fantastic. It's great to see this many performers taking part in this seasonal offering. I originally thought Uninvited is going to be a small cavalcade, but this is something else. The villains, alongside their respective teams of dancers, raise a toast and dance along the original music, Party Like a Villain. They will also randomly invite park guests to dance alongside them, making the show more like an actual party than a typical parade, which is pretty special for a parade-style entertainment. This moment doesn't last long, as Maleficent reminds everyone that the spell is coming to an end, upsetting the other villains. As the clock ticks, the villains start leaving, and the phones of the top Main Street begin to disappear. The dancers put on their hoods just like the beginning of the show as they leave the area. Maleficent announces her departure and her satisfaction for the party, reminding everyone to never forget to invite her again. As the floats leave, or at least supposed to, because it seems that Gaston's table got stuck in the first show, causing a brief delay. We hear park guests whispering how they think about Maleficent, and eventually announce the end of the show. As Maleficent says at the end of Uninvited,
This is how you leave a party, with everyone wanting more!
and after watching the entire show, even though not in person, I totally agree with her. Uninvited, a villain's takeover party, is such a great party and truly leaves us wanting more. In fact, this might be the best new seasonal entertainment offering Hong Kong Disneyland has pulled off this year. It combines new elements and special characters that will only appear during Halloween to create a spectacular show along the parade route. Maleficent is uninvited in the movie, and now she's uninvited in the park. It's a really nice callback and cleverly connects with the 20th anniversary event of Hong Kong Disneyland. While the 20th anniversary is supposed to end in June 2026, I do wonder if there's a way for them to bring back this show in 2026, making it able to perform even after the 20th anniversary. I'm not sure, but just in case, this might be the only year this show is performed, so I urge everyone to go watch it if you can. One thing to note is that this parade, as Hong Kong Disneyland would call it, only takes place along Main Street, USA, but not every float goes through all parts of Main Street. So do take note of which section of Main Street you would like to stand in order to capture your favorite villains. I've created a rough layout of the villains' positions based on the videos available online so far. If you are standing at, let's say, Victorian Collections and Main Street Market, you may be missing out on a majority of the villains. So if you ask me, I would advise you to stand close to the point where the floats come out. One of the best locations in my opinion is close to the Mickey Pumpkin at Town Square. That way, you get to capture the dancers marching down Main Street, Maleficent and the We Love Mickey float, and some of the villains including Gaston, Jafar, the Tremaines, and Oogie Boogie. You can also choose to watch close to Corner Cafe, where Hades, Hook and Smee, Queen of Hearts, and the Evil Queen come out. The villains will not walk through all sections of Main Street, so it would take at least 2 performances in order to capture all the villains if you want. In this case, try to visit the park on weekends, as Uninvited will be performed twice during the day. That way, you can watch half of the villains at the first show and the second half at the second show. Not getting to capture all the villains or floats in one show may be a notable flaw, as a typical guest probably hopes to capture everything this parade has to offer, just like all the other parades. However, I understand that this is a very new kind of entertainment, so I wouldn't mind too much. In fact, I do encourage them to try new things. When they try it once, they can then improve it according to guest feedback and create an even better experience in the future. Another thing I would like to suggest, a little nitpicky though, is that they should add 2 more tables for the remaining villains. Hades and Oogie Boogie are the only villains with no tables, but they also have their own team of dancers just like everyone else. That's why I think they should have also got those tables. I understand it might be difficult for Hades to get a table, since he is such a big character to walk onto the float, but it would be really cool to see him also get a table if there's a chance. Finally, as you probably see on the thumbnail, I would like to address that this parade is extremely vulnerable to bad weather. I know this applies to all kinds of outdoor entertainment, but I am still concerned. Hong Kong weather in recent years has become increasingly horrible and often affects park operation. 2025 has seen the highest number of amber, red, and black rainstorm warning signals issued in a single year in history. 45 for amber rainstorms, 16 for red rainstorms, and 5 for black rainstorms as of the recording of this video, and counting. These rainstorms caused severe flooding and major disruptions throughout the city, so shout out to Hong Kong Disneyland and all cast members for being able to keep the park open despite such circumstances. However, during the first week of Halloween, all performances of Uninvited, a villain's takeover party, have been completely cancelled due to inclement weather, most notably amber rainstorms.
Due to inclement weather, and for the safety of our guests and performers, this performance of Uninvited, a villain's takeover party, has been cancelled.
In the end, the new show could not premiere until the 4th day of Disney Halloween time. To make matters worse, Super Typhoon Regasa has completely ceased park operation, so the new parade could not be performed for a few more days. I know typhoons are unavoidable, but in case of rain, I think Hong Kong Disneyland should have built a backup plan for the new villains parade. It is supposed to be a major offering for this year's Halloween, and many fans visited the park just for that. But in the end, fans were left disappointed because we didn't receive anything except a cancellation announcement each time. In case of inclement weather, I think the villains should have at least done a brief greeting so that fans can get at least something. There are so many characters and performers for the show, and Hong Kong Disneyland should let at least some of them come out. The new regular daytime parade, Fantastic, also features a backup plan during bad weather. The Disney Friends Party Express is really just a rain version of Fantastic, where some of the characters and dancers from the normal parade climb aboard the Rainy Day Express so that guests can still see them. I hope they could do the same for Uninvited. it shouldn't be a huge difficulty to relocate the villains onto the Rainy Day Express or the Main Street vehicles and make it Disney Villains Party Express or Cavalcade, right? I know I would be interested to see that. During my recent visit to Disneyland Paris, my journey was also constantly impacted by inclement weather.
Dear friends, due to inclement weather conditions, we are unable to continue with this performance. We apologize for any inconvenience.
So in the end, I missed out on some of the offerings in Disney Music Festival, and was only able to watch the full version of the Grand Orchestra Finale Parade once. Despite that, I still got to see the modified versions of the parade where the characters came out for a brief greeting. I think Hong Kong Disneyland should follow and apply this to all kinds of outdoor entertainment. Hong Kong weather is probably going to get worse year after year, and they should be well prepared for that instead of completely removing every outdoor show on a rainy day. There are guests who visit Hong Kong Disneyland just for the seasonal offerings. I can imagine how disappointed they are if they cannot watch their favorite shows or see their favorite characters during the trip just because of the rainstorms. So I hope Hong Kong Disneyland could plan carefully when it comes to outdoor entertainment. I'm not saying that they should only do indoor entertainment, but just bear in mind and make a backup plan in case anything goes wrong. Regardless of the weather, Uninvited, a villain's takeover party, in the end, is still a welcome addition to Disney Halloween time at Hong Kong Disneyland. It provides a much needed new offering to the event, and also an extra parade or cavalcade along the parade route to perform after Fantastic during the day. It features attractive villains with well-written personalities, which truly pays tribute to classic Disney, something that I've always hoped them to do more. So on a scale of 1 star to 5 stars, I'm going to give this new Villains Parade, or Cavalcade, or whatever it is called, 5 stars. It's really something I highly recommend you to watch if there's no rain. It is also a great successor to Mickey's Halloween Time Street Party, which did not return this year. Now that Mickey and Friends and Duffy and Friends are in Fantastic, I'm actually okay with losing that cavalcade this year. Although it's something related to Mickey and Friends, I honestly think it was a bit outdated. And even though this parade doesn't feature Mickey Mouse, I'm still fine as long as it features classic characters you cannot regularly see in Hong Kong Disneyland. Disney villains only appear during Halloween, and they are some of the most famous and important characters of Disney.
I knew this was gonna happen.
This time of year is the time when I can feel that Hong Kong Disneyland actually pays attention to Disney classics. I hope they keep it that way, and also hold more events related to Disney movies during different times of the year, let's say springtime. And that's the end. I hope you enjoyed this video as well as this new show. This review was only meant to talk about Uninvited, a villain's takeover party, and address my concerns regarding the recent weather impacting Hong Kong Disneyland. I would not comment too much on the rest of the Halloween event, aside from the removal of House of the Villains. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm actually a bit upset with that. I personally really like House of the Villains, similar to Uninvited. In fact, Halloween has always been my favorite seasonal event throughout the year, all thanks to these excellent shows and special characters. But what do you think? If you agree with my points and enjoy this video, remember to like the video and subscribe to this channel. Also, don't forget to follow the channel on Instagram for more updates. Thanks for watching, see you next time.